Hi and welcome back. So this video was prompted by a request from Dr. Who, maybe Doctor who has been a subscriber now for 3 years. He writes, "Great watch, Vince. Could you do a video on REM sleep at some point? Your scores are off the charts and would like to know how you do it, if indeed you know." Now, if you are subscribed to the channel, you know that I do post a variety of my Ultra Human Ring daily stats, things like heart rate, stress rhythm, recovery scores, and of course my sleep scores. And here are some of those sleep score screenshots for the last few nights. Now, I'm preparing this video on a Wednesday night, that's the 31st. Just to be completely transparent, I just chose the last 6 nights. I've not cherry-picked, say, the best 6 over the last 12 or 14 days. Now, you can pause the video and check the REM scores, but the longest was 2 hours 55, and that was on Sunday the 28th. That's got the yellow border. The shortest was 1 hour 27 on Wednesday the 31st. That's got the green border. And Friday the 26th was 1 hour 46. That's got a pink border. I achieved on all the other nights more than 2 hours of REM sleep. So why is Dr. Who so interested? Why is REM sleep so important to us all? During REM sleep, the brain undergoes a number of distinctive changes that are crucial for various physiological and psychological processes, starting with activity. During REM sleep, the brain becomes highly active, with activity levels similar to those when we're fully awake. This heightened activity is thought to be linked to the processing and consolidation of long-term memory information storage. Then there's dreaming. REM sleep is often called dream sleep. REM sleep is the stage where the most vivid of our dreams actually occur, and the brain's visual and emotional centers are really highly active. This leads to the creation of complex and sometimes far more often emotional dreams, and I can certainly contest to that. Then we have synaptic plasticity. REM sleep enhances our synaptic plasticity, which is the ability of our synapses, that's the connections in our brains, to either strengthen or weaken over time. This process is critical for learning and memory consolidation. REM sleep also affects emotional processing. The brain processes and integrates emotions experienced during the day, helping us to regulate our mood and also our emotional responses. This is thought to reduce emotional reactivity and also improve our emotional stability. Then we have neurotransmitter regulation. This is a unique regulation of our neurotransmitters that only happens during REM sleep. Levels of norepinephrine, which is linked to alertness and stress, drop significantly, while acetylcholine, associated with learning and memory, they remain high, facilitating the brain's cognitive functions. Not getting enough REM sleep can lead to a number of negative consequences that affects our cognitive function, our emotional regulation, and also our overall health. Firstly, cognitive impairment. A lack of REM sleep disrupts the consolidation of our memories, and this leads to difficulties in retaining new information and also in our learning. Next is reduced cognitive function. Impaired REM sleep can result in decreased problem-solving abilities, slower reaction times, and reduced creativity. A lack of REM sleep also increases our stress and our anxiety. Insufficient REM sleep can heighten our stress and anxiety levels. This can make it harder to manage even the most mundane of our routine daily challenges. Chronic REM sleep deprivation is linked to mood disorders such as depression and irritability, affecting emotional stability and our overall well-being. A lack of REM sleep can also compromise the immune system, making the body more susceptible to infections and also long-term illness. And prolonged REM sleep deprivation is associated with a higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease, obesity, and metabolic disorders. So what can we do to improve our chances of getting better REM sleep? Here are 11 suggestions, and I'll also explain how I line up against each one of these. Firstly, maintain a regular sleep schedule, which I do. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on the weekends, does help regulate your body's internal clock and improve the quality of your sleep. And much to the chagrin of my wife and kids, even during the school holidays, we all still have to go to bed at the same time. And if they're not all up by the time I get back from walking the dog, let's just say I could certainly be a lot quieter. Then we have creating a relaxing bedtime routine. This involves engaging in calming activities before bed, such as reading, taking a warm bath, or practicing relaxation techniques. This helps to send signals to your body that it is time to start winding down. Now, I do have a routine of locking up the house, switching off the lights, preparing my pint of water, and taking a hot shower before I actually climb into bed. And the light is off as soon as I get into bed. Commonplace advice is also to limit exposure to screens before bed. It's said that the blue light emitted by phones, tablets, and computers can interfere with your ability to fall asleep quickly. Now, I'm not sure if that includes smart TVs, as I do usually watch TV up until about 9 or 9:15 p.m. Next, and I do think this is high on the list, is having a comfortable sleep environment. A cool, dark, and quiet bedroom can promote better sleep quality. We have blackout curtains, and I also have a sleep mask that I use when we do leave home. It's hot here in the Philippines, but again, much to my wife's annoyance because it wastes electricity, the AC in the bedroom goes on at around 6 p.m. And this is to get the bedroom as close to 20 degrees centigrade, that's 68 Fahrenheit, as possible by 9:30 at night. The next piece of advice is to avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol close to bedtime. Let's take these one at a time. Food, yes, I've now changed. I used to finish my meal of the day somewhere around 8 p.m, as close to that as possible. I now eat, having just walked the dog, at around 6 p.m. Alcohol, I only drink alcohol on a Saturday night. It used to be red wine, but I've now switched to vodka because of the sugar content. Vodka has no sugar. It's distilled and contains primarily alcohol and water, making it a zero-carb beverage. Whereas, on average, a glass of red wine that contains 5 ounces has about 1 to 3 grams of sugar. Then finally, caffeine. Now, if you follow the channel, you'll know that I do have a mild caffeine addiction, but the Ultra Human Ring that I've got now does let me know when my caffeine permissible window is starting to close. Now, I used to stop caffeine somewhere between 3 and 4 p.m, but the ring now tells me that I need to curtail my caffeinated coffee at around 2:30 p.m. Another tip is to stay active. Regular physical activity can promote better overall sleep, although it's best to avoid vigorous exercise close to bedtime. All of my vigorous exercise, my HIIT, etc., is now finished well before 10 a.m. in the morning. Again, my Ultra Human Ring does tell me when I've been sitting too long, and I've also got set on my fitness band a minimum standing target of 9 hours per day. This target is always beaten. For July, my average was 12 hours a day. The recommendation is a measly 4 hours a day. Another factor is to manage your stress and your anxiety. High stress levels can negatively impact your sleep. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, or yoga can help reduce stress. I don't really practice any of these myself. Again, my Ultra Human Ring does give me some data on this. You can see here on the first of the 6 days that I showed you for my sleep, my stress levels were, I think, pretty good. In that 24-hour period, I was stressed for 0 minutes, stimulated for 2 hours and 5 minutes, and relaxed for 19 hours and 5 minutes. The 1 hour, 25 minutes of activity would have been, as it was a Friday, 1 gym session, and that's leg day, and they're always horrible, and 2 dog walking sessions. The next tip may be a little controversial, and that is to limit your naps. While napping can be beneficial, long or irregular naps during the day can interfere with your nighttime sleep. If you really do need to nap, try to keep them short and as early in the day as possible. Then we have your exposure to natural light. Getting plenty of natural light during the day helps to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Spend time outside during daylight hours if this is at all possible. So I'm up at 6 a.m. and I'm out walking the dog by between 6:15 and 6:20 in the morning. And that morning walk lasts for around 30 to 35 minutes. And I'm in and out of the house regularly during the day. And then the second dog walk of the day is as the sun is setting, but it is still very light. This too is around 30 to 35 minutes. And if it's not too hot and the dog is up for it, I also jog for somewhere between 25 and 35% of this walk. The next tip is to avoid stimulants before bed. This includes not only caffeine or nicotine, but also stimulating activities or stressful conversations. So for caffeine, I used to guess that coffee anytime in the morning was okay, and anything after maybe 3:30 or 4 would be detrimental to my sleep. As I've said, another great element of the Ultra Human Ring is the caffeine restriction window. Too early in the morning and caffeine binds to adenosine receptors in the brain without actually activating them. This blocks the action of adenosine, preventing it from inducing its usual sleep-promoting effects later in the day. Too late in the day and its stimulating effects can lead to increased alertness and difficulty in initiating sleep. This is known as delayed sleep onset. So now I don't drink caffeinated coffee before 8 a.m. in the morning or after 2 p.m. in the afternoon. The next one is to think carefully about supplements such as melatonin. These should not be used constantly. And before taking any supplement for your sleep, you should always consult with a medical professional first. Well, I hope you found that interesting or informative. And if you're trying to up your REM sleep scores, I hope you find it helpful too. Please let me know in the comments below, do you measure your REM sleep? And if you do, are your numbers good or are they bad? And if you think they could be better, will you use some of these tips and techniques as a way of improving your REM sleep scores?